What's up, guys? So, I am in fact at Disneyland Paris. There's Pluto over there. I think it's Pluto. Yeah, so we arrived yesterday at about 2 in the afternoon. We were about 15 minutes delayed due to signal failure somewhere along the way. So we're currently at Disneyland Paris. We're here till Wednesday and it's Monday, so first full day. Squirt is staring at me over my shoulder. First impressions, not amazing. Some of the staff don't speak very good English, which for a massive tourist attraction is, I don't know if that's good or not. Yeah, so there's some things you get lost in translation, if you like. So for some of the characters you have to book meet and greets, which you're not necessarily told right in advance, and you need a particular app. And basically you get a time for when they're going to come, which for Buzz is 10:30, and the app opens 15 minutes before and you have to book your meet and greet. Now what you're not told is that it opens 15 minutes before, so you try to book last night for example to get in advance and it's closed. And we've gone through 4 different people to be told you just have to book 15 minutes in advance. So for a 10 o'clock start you have to book at 9:45 for example. So we've wasted a lot of time walking around the park trying to find people to tell us that, which isn't great. So we've wasted a good 45 minutes just sort of walking around doing nothing when we could have gone on rides and we could have met. Pluto for example doesn't have a queue and doesn't need a meet and greet code, so you could just walk up and meet him. So gonna hopefully do Stitch. So I've got my Stitch card right there. Gonna go meet Stitch at some point. Very excited about that. It is very cold today. Yesterday was it wasn't cold. It was just a bit chilly today. It's like icy cold and it's meant to rain. So FYI for a November Disneyland wrap-up one. I have a hat and I have a scarf and I have gloves, but I'm actually quite toasty in what I've got on. So yeah, so I'm going to take a load of photos and do a couple of videos. Tomorrow we've got the meet and greet breakfast, which we're all quite excited about. You're not told about what character's going to be there, you just hope that you get good ones, and 9 times out of 10 they said Mickey Mouse is going to be there, so fingers crossed we meet Mickey. Can't come to Disneyland and not meet Mickey. Also got a little badge with my nickname on it, which is Poppet from my girlfriend. So yes, that's what we're going to do today. We've got the magic passes or whatever they're called, so you can come an hour before the park opens, which means that rides are only like 5-10 minutes waiting time, whereas yesterday when we rocked up at 3 o'clock in the afternoon they were 80 minutes for some of the rides, which is extortionate waiting time. So yeah, so I'm just waiting for them to get off the spinny ride and we'll go meet Buzz. What's up guys, welcome back. Thank you for clicking on my video. As you probably see by the title and the previous 3 minutes worth of video, we went to Disneyland Paris, and this was just going to be a little review type video of just telling you some facts basically and what I thought of it personally, and just an overall thumbs up or thumbs down. So we went for about 3 days. We left on Sunday morning at 6, left the house at 6 AM on Sunday morning, got to Disneyland Paris train station at something like 2 in the afternoon, bearing in mind they're an hour ahead, so yeah, bear that in mind. It was about a 15-minute delay due to some signalling thing, but not a massive delay. Went really fast, went really well. And my mum had signed up for a service where you basically give your bags in at the station and they take them to the hotel for you, so you can pretty much just go straight to the park off the train, which sounds a bit mental, sounds a bit kind of frantic, but it works. It's a well-oiled machine that they have going on there. The handling of your bags is really simple. You get tags on the train and you just write your name and the date you're arriving and leaving, and you hand it in at the Disney Express counter and they take it to your hotel. Then when you've finished and you can get the bus, and you can walk back to your hotel depending on which hotel you're staying in, you go to the little pickup point and your bags are there waiting for you, so you haven't had to lugged them around the park all day. So that was fantastic. That went really well. We literally just got off the train and went straight to the park, and we were there for probably about 2.5 hours. The waiting time by the time we got there was ridiculous for some of the rides. One of the rides was 80 minutes wait, which is just incredible. So we ended up going on the Slinky ride from Toy Story, which was probably about a 20-minute wait. And that was probably the one with the least amount of waiting time. Everything after that was 30, 40, 50 minutes. At that time in the afternoon, it got quite busy, and it was a Sunday as well, so people were probably going home that night and trying to cram in the last lot of rides. So we did that, and then we'd pre-booked our reservations for the food, which is very important. I didn't realise this. I watched a similar vlog to the one I'm doing right now, something like 10 tips for first timers going to Disneyland Paris. I think high on the list was making reservations for dinner, which I think you probably just think you can rock up at a hotel and get dinner, but you really can't. The queues were insane, and even if you have reservations, you still have to queue, which I'm not quite sure why you've made a reservation then. But there you go. So the first time we ate at Santa Fe, the first night, the Sunday night, which was a buffet. They're all buffets pretty much. Mexican foods, we had fajitas. They also did a bit of bolognese, even though that's Italian, not Mexican, as far as I'm aware. It was okay, but it was nice. It wasn't anything special. You certainly won't be getting like steaks and burgers and things like that, but they did have a nice selection of Mexican fajitas and burritos, all of which you make yourself. It's all just laid out and you just help yourself, which is great for family dining. My daughter's obviously not even 3 yet, so she's a bit fussy. You don't quite know what to get her from a buffet. But then there's other people that were starving, other people that weren't so hungry, so a buffet is the best way to go. And then we found her a hotel which was directly opposite, which was called Hotel Cheyenne, which was lovely, and we had a Woody from Toy Story themed hotel room. It just had a bit of wallpaper, to be fair, and looked a little bit kind of barn-esque, but certainly wasn't based on Toy Story. Didn't have like Andy written all over the place, and wasn't crazy decorated. So I guess that was a bit of a letdown on my part. I thought it was going to be sort of stepping into a Toy Story themed room, but it literally wasn't. It just had a little bit of wallpaper and some Toy Story toiletries. So make of that what you will. But it was a lovely room, and my daughter had a pull-up bed, so she was away from the cot, which is nice because she's getting older now, and she's quite long for a 2-and-a-bit-year-old. So she slept in her own bed, which wasn't far off the floor. I wasn't afraid if she was going to roll off, she would have hit the ground. She kind of just rolled onto a cushion, and it wasn't far from the floor, so that was really nice for her. We had a lovely double bed, which was very comfortable. No complaints about the sleep. And then again, breakfast was buffet, and my mum had paid for us to have breakfast and dinner included in our ticket prices, so that was another bonus, that all the money that we took was just literally for lunches if we wanted it, and spending money for souvenirs or whatever. So the buffet breakfast was nice. Didn't do porridge, which is unfortunate because that's what my daughter sort of lives on for breakfast, and no Rice Krispies. So if you're hooked on those two things, maybe take your own, or buy the travel boxes or whatever. But they have plenty of choice. Obviously croissants, pastries, bacon, beans. You could have a hot breakfast if you wanted. My daughter's just a bit fussy, that's all. And just likes her porridge. So a little bit of trial and error as to what she ate. She's not a big bread fan either, so wouldn't touch croissant or a pastry or anything like that. So that was a bit fun. But yeah, then the Monday was just the first full day in the park, and that was really good. However, it's been very cold and very wet. So once you get wet and cold, there's kind of no coming back from that, and you just constantly want to try and keep warm. So we went on a couple of rides, I think not much crazy, and then it really decided to chuck it down, and we went to a stunt show, which was probably one of the highlights of the holiday for me. That stunt show was amazing. Just they show you how they do stunts in like Hollywood movies, but they show you how they do them, so they sort of break them down, and just show you what goes into it. And even though it was chucking it down, they were making the floor more wet to get better skids and stuff. So it really was epic. The weather didn't hinder it at all. Then we did a tram ride around the park, and that was just showing you props and stuff. But it was dry. We had a roof, so that was basically all we wanted from that. And then we went to Stitch Live, which is my guy. I'm a huge Stitch fan. He's on my bed as well. Got a massive cushion of his head. This isn't from Disneyland. This is from Primark. Stitch Live was just a video. It wasn't a ride. You just kind of have to save Stitch. He's fled Earth and stolen a spaceship, and you just kind of have to get him back. And we didn't really do that. We just kind of talked to him, and then he went. So that was a bit random. But again, inside in the dry, so can't complain. And then it kind of started to get a bit sunnier, so we queued up to meet Buzz. My daughter's a huge Toy Story fan. And then we queued up to meet Woody. Now, what they don't tell you previous to turning up is that you need an app to book certain meet and greets with certain characters. So Buzz, Woody, Pluto, and Jack from Nightmare Before Christmas, I think it's what it's called. You have to book them in. You have to get an app. You have to get a ticket. Now, what I said in the previous vlog, or the previous video, was that it took 4 people to tell me and my girlfriend that you need to book your tickets 15 minutes before. So it opens 15 minutes before the meet and greet starts. So just say you meet in Buzz at 10:30, it will open at 10:15, and you have a very short amount of time to book in your meet and greet. So at 10:15 you have to be on the app and refresh it until it opens, book it, you get a number. It coincides with the number on their pad. You tell how many people that you want to meet. So me, my girlfriend and my daughter, it was 3 of us. And you get 3 tickets on your phone basically, and they just press the pad and away you go, and you join the queue. So we wasted a lot of time on the Monday morning looking for answers, because every time we went on we thought we could sort of pre-book them up before. It didn't explain that it opened at a particular time. So yeah, we wasted about an hour looking for people to help us with that, which is a shame, because that's an hour that we could have had doing other stuff. But now we know that if we were to go back, even though we've met them, you never know, my daughter will be older, she might want to meet them again. We know we need the app. Everybody else likes Stitch and Mickey and Pluto and everybody else that comes to the park. You can just queue. Like Aladdin, you didn't have to get a code for him or pre-book a meet and greet, but the queue was ginormous. The queue was absolutely huge to meet him, and of course Jasmine was with him the one time that we saw him. So you would have met both of them, but like I said, the queue would have taken you at least 30 minutes plus to get to the end. As it was, it took me quite a long time to meet Stitch, but that was the prerequisite before I went away. That was the one person that I had to get a photo with Stitch. So I'm happy about that. I don't mind queuing for that, and I queued for a while to meet Jessie, although she wasn't too bad. You're looking at probably 20 minutes plus for a meet and greet with a character. So Monday was just rides and trying to keep warm and trying to keep dry, and then we had dinner. Where did we have dinner? We had dinner in a hotel inside Disneyland, inside the park. Which was really, really nice. Again, it was a buffet, but it was a bit more. In the first place, we had like a takeaway cup for our drinks and plastic trays. It kind of felt a bit more like a takeaway restaurant where you just sort of sit down and eat, whereas this was like a restaurant. Yes, it was a buffet, but waiters came to clear your table, whereas before you had to kind of do it yourself. So it felt a little bit nicer, a little bit like we were going out for a meal. Again, it was kind of Tex-Mex kind of stuff, kind of chicken legs and ribs and rice. Yeah, just really nice. And my daughter was very tired by Monday night, struggling, bless her. So I didn't eat that much. I have to say, if you've got young children and you take them, it is full on. It's long days. You're getting them up early so you can get into the park before everybody else, especially if you're staying at a hotel. You get the magic hour. Which is well worth doing. I mean, the Buzz Lightyear ride was 80-minute wait if you didn't go in the magic hour, and we waited 10 minutes, so definitely worth getting the magic hour passes, but it is a long day. She was starting to fall asleep at the table, so she just ate a couple of chicken nuggets and some broccoli, and that was pretty much done. So don't expect your kids, especially if they're young, to eat a lot. They will be tired. She was absolutely shattered, but then she got overtired and started to fight bedtime, which wasn't great. So you just kind of have to chill her right down, turn the lights down, relax her down a little bit, but we got there in the end. And then Tuesday, still tired, was character breakfast. Now it's directly opposite the castle, in just a restaurant. You do have to pay extra for it. It's not included. You can, by the looks of it, you can pay on the day. I think it said it was €39 for an adult and €35 for a child. But this place was epic. The breakfast was amazing. They had veal sausages. I mean, who serves veal sausages? And they were nice anyway. And they did porridge, so my daughter was well away. She found her appetite. She'd had a really good night's sleep. She'd had a good solid 8 hours at least. We hadn't given her anything before breakfast because I wanted her to eat. So even though the table wasn't booked till 9:45 or 10 in the morning, she'd had a drink, but she hadn't had any food up until that point. So she had a big bowl of porridge, she had a couple of yogurts, she had some pancakes. Like, she was hungry at this point. But the character breakfast is you get 4, maybe 5 characters. So we met Mickey, we met Pluto, we met Daffy and Donald Duck, Eeyore, I think that was it. I think there was 5. Oh, and Tigger, so there was 6. And it was just amazing. I mean, it's quite magical to have these guys come around while you're eating your breakfast, just chilling. So you can have photos with them. They signed my daughter's autograph book. Posed for lots of photos with us. Were very sweet. They must be very busy and they must get very sick of this, people pulling them here, there and everywhere around the restaurant. But they were so cute and they were so just lovely. So we had the best time, and I think we stayed there for probably about an hour and a half. By the time there were 6 of us and my daughter, so 6.5. By the time you've all eaten a good breakfast, because it is a buffet again, remember, you do kind of fill yourself up to last the day, and it was just brilliant. I couldn't recommend that enough. Character breakfast is definitely yes. So then we went to the Buzz Lightyear ride. That was pretty cool. I have to say. It did keep breaking down. We were on it. It kept stopping. People kept standing up. I don't know why people do that on a ride, but they do. Excuse me. And then we did different things. We went to go and meet some people. I took my daughter on a ride. Then there was a parade, and then I went Stitch. It's just such a busy day. You're just walking from here, there, and everywhere, trying to get to the different parks and go and get on all the rides that you want to get on. But it's all worth it, knowing that you're not there for that long. So you do really have to try and come in. And if you've got like a week or so, you can just chill. Even if you had 5 days, I think you could relax a little bit more than we did. You could see a few more things. I think there's definitely a few areas of the park that we might have missed, or a ride or two that we didn't go on or get to, which is a shame, but time runs out. There's only so much you can do with the hours in the day. And then dinner tables were booked for between 6:30 and 7, and because obviously it's winter, it's getting darker. Places shut earlier. I have no idea what it will be like there in the summer, or at least on a nice day. I assume it'll be busy because more French people might come out for a day trip. You can buy a day pass if you're in that area. So yeah, I've no idea what it'll be like, but it was nice on the Tuesday, and definitely the Wednesday it seemed to quieten down a little bit, so waiting times were certainly cut in half. A couple of things that were cons as opposed to pros. So I'm lactose intolerant, as I've spoken about before, and hot drinks for me are limited. So I can't drink coffee because of caffeine, and I can't drink hot chocolates because 9 times out of 10 they're made with milk. So this was a bit of a shame because nowhere would give me a cup of hot water. So I'd taken tea bags, I'd taken sachets of my own hot chocolate that I can mix with hot water, and I couldn't get a cup of hot water at all. No one would give me one. The Starbucks in my restaurant would, but because I was buying a hot milk for my daughter for bedtime, because she still likes a hot milk. But nowhere in the park would give me just hot water. Wouldn't even tell me if I could pay for a cup of hot water. But what they do is when you buy a normal tea, they don't put the tea bag in the cup. So I had to pay for a tea to use the hot water, but save the tea bag for another day when I couldn't get a cup of hot water, which is just ridiculous. And it's something like €3, which is near enough if you from England, pound for pound, pretty much. So it's a little bit of a rip-off. It is a massive money-making scheme that you can't just get a cup of hot water. Some people just like to drink hot water. So that was a bit of a shame. I didn't have an awful lot of choices when it came to drink. It was pretty much Fanta, Sprite, Coke, or Diet Coke. There were no fruit shoots, there were no Oasis, there was no J2Os, nothing like juicy that I could even buy my daughter. Just water and the fizzies, which again is a real shame. It just meant she didn't have a lot of choice when it came to drinks. She drank water, but she's like me, she wasn't particularly enjoying it. So that was also a bit of a downer. If you're coming and you like that sort of thing, I would definitely pack a few bottles in my case and keep them in my room. And then I've got a drink to take in my bag. You are allowed to take drinks into the park. You can put them in your bag, even though your bag goes through security. You are allowed to take a drink in. We did take flasks with bottled water in them. Yeah, that was a bit of a shame. That was a bit of a downer for me because it was so cold and so wet. I couldn't get a hot drink at all. I couldn't make one in the hotel room either because we didn't have a kettle. So yeah, that was a bit of a massive con for me, that you couldn't get a drink like that. I was going to make a list of things to talk about, and I really should have done that. Maybe I'll come back on and do a part 2. The park is now, despite it being early November, is now set up for Christmas. So we've been listening to Christmas carols and Christmas songs and lots of trees and lots of ornaments, lots of Santa, and it just feels a little bit weird that you've come home now and it's not Christmas anymore because it's too early. But we've just been to Disneyland and Santa was on his sleigh in a parade. So I think my daughter's slightly confused as to what's going on. I think she thinks that Christmas is real soon, but it's not even nearly soon. We've got something like 5 weeks left. So that's a bit weird as well. The other thing that we noticed was they've taken away all of the 2019 key rings and magnets, souvenirs, t-shirts, things like that. All of it's gone. You can buy 2020, but we didn't go in 2020. We went in 2019, but we can't get anything that says that because it's all gone or just been removed. That doesn't make sense. The other thing that shocked me was the lack of, I want to say souvenirs. There are souvenirs. There are a lot of shops, but they all sell the same thing. So if you want to buy this little guy wraps around your bag strap or your arm, if you want to wear him, you can wear him. I'm not going to wear him. There's a lot of like this sort of thing, but if you want a nice t-shirt or a hoodie or jogging bottoms if you're cold, if you want extra layers, there's not really a lot of that. There's a lot of toys, a lot of Woody, a lot of Jessie's, lots of things like that, but not a lot of clothes. So if you're caught short and you need an extra layer, you'll be hard pushed to find it at Disneyland Paris. They do scarves and hats and gloves, but there's just not a lot of it. I wanted a stitch jumper. They didn't do a stitch jumper. So it's quite limited as to what they sell. They have got some nice stuff, but it's you'll probably find more in Primark and for cheaper, which was a bit of a shock. I thought there would be a lot of clothes to be had, and there really isn't that much to choose from, which made it easier. I did come home with euros in the end. So yeah, that's kind of some cons. There are a lot of pros. It is a magical place. It is amazing. We did have a wonderful time. The rides are... I'm not a roller coaster fan, so I didn't go on any fast rides. But the Pirates of the Caribbean ride was brilliant. it said something like over 60 animatronic models being the pirates, which was a little bit scary and a little bit fun. I'm not going to ruin it. I didn't take any videos of it. I'm not going to leak it. I'm not going to spoil it. If you go on it, you will find out for yourself. There was a Dumbo ride. My daughter loved it. There's a lot of cool stuff to be done, but I've just mentioned a few of the cons so that people know before they go what to expect when they get there. If I think of anything else, I will do a part 2 video, but for now this is 22 minutes long. I think I'll leave it there. Hope you're all well. I'm home now. As you can see, this is my bedroom. Been home for a day or two, and I am still catching up. I am still shattered. It is a very long couple of days, and you are walking a lot. But like I said, it's well worth it. So tomorrow, just chilling. Daughter's gone to her dad's. I'm just going to see my girlfriend, I think, maybe go cinema. And Sunday I am seeing Professor Green, which will be awesome, I think. I hope he's good. I don't really know many songs. I know the kind of popular ones like Lullaby and Read All About It and Photographs. But if he sings any like album tracks, he's lost me. And then back to work Monday. Back to reality only for 2 days, and then I'm off for 3 more. So November's quite nice in the fact that I'm not working that much. And then of course it hits December. And we count down to Christmas. So I will see you guys soon. Thank you for watching.